Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is my guy Mike M, aka Mr. Pimp Slap Pod, hip to be square, all of the above. Mike, how are you doing? How is your Sunday going? And your UFC was a great time, so congratulations to you.
Yeah, my Sunday rolled into the early hours, so it's been a struggle to get up and at 'em. But man, what a great weekend it's been! We finally got some cards back here, right? We finally got some games rolling besides just baseball. We had a full, fantastic UFC card last night. It was really, a lot of decisions, but a lot of money to be made and a lot of specialty decision choices that paid out some 3 and 4 unit opportunities. Baseball NFL's back. We're starting to get into the groove here and, get up early, scrub the card and rinse and repeat, dude. So, hey, happy final Sunday show to you. You made it. You're here.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good month next month. I was telling you, football's here. College football starts next week, so football shows start. Some baseball still here, so it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be an interesting month for the boy, but I'm not gonna be here, and not next week, but the next week. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how Dabby Cab does hosting the show as well next in 2 weeks. So I'll be interested to see how that goes for him as well. But
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How long is he hosting the show for? Well, give me the stretch.
I am gone from the 27th to the 4th.
All right, so that's what, like 9 days, we'll call it. 9 days of, so maybe we'll give him 7 shows he's going to do. So here's where I'm going. Over under on number of picks my guy Dabby Cab makes in that 7-day stretch. I'm going to set the over under at 10.5. Would you go
10.5? Wow. I'm going under for sure.
Shout out to Dabby Cab, man. That's my guy. He knows
I thought you were going to say 7.5, a pick a day. And I was
because Darvish is going to go and he'll probably see a Texas Rangers over spot in there. So, I'm just kidding. I love Dabby. Dabby knows that. So, hey, that's cool though, man. We're here and the seasons are starting to cascade in, and I know he's a big college basketball guy and college football as well. And it's exciting, man. The channel's starting to hum. There's starting to be a lot of things going on here, and there's a lot of things that are coming up as well. So it's exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting. A lot of good things are happening soon on the channel. Shout out to Dabby Cap. No one tell him that we just talked about him, because I'm now going to track how many picks he makes and see if it goes over or under 10.5. So nobody tell him, but we're going to do that now very quietly and silently. Let's get it cracking here, Mike. The people are anxious to talk baseball today. I don't blame them, because we've got a pretty good card here today. It's actually a smaller card, thank you to the hurricane, I guess, but I don't know if it's actually hit or anything. So shout out to that. Hope Damon Santori and crew are all right. Damon Santori might need to be rescued via lifeboat, but who knows? We'll see what happens with my guy Damon. Let's start with Seattle, Houston, the early morning game here. And it's not even early morning. It's not even like a peacock, like 11 a.m. game. It's like 12, I think. So, or 1, I guess, on the East Coast. But the Mariners, Mike, they've come out and smacked Houston in the mouth twice. And Julio Rodriguez is apparently the hottest man on earth right now. I saw the stat that Julio has by himself as many hits in his last 3 games as the Yankees do, as a whole team. And I got a good crack out of that. That made me laugh very hard. But minus 175, again, we talked about this on game 1. The line was like minus 150. I was like, that's a line telling us that the Astros were going to win? And I was like, and I stayed off. And obviously the Mariners win that game. They win game 2. And I'm like, wow, okay. Minus 175 might be a little bit too high, but I'm not stepping in front of either one of these teams. I believe in the Astros. I still think they're the best team. Excuse me. I think they're still the best team in the American League. They just need to get into the playoffs, and then they'll fucking do their thing. But I didn't want anything to do with this. I like my guy Emerson Hancock. He's not a bad pitcher at all, and I'd rather back him than fade him here. So I wanted nothing to do with this game, Mike. What do you have on this game? And we'll talk about cash and markets after.
Yeah, so this entire card's kind of got some interesting looks to it. I'm actually glad that they moved a lot of those West Coast games out to the doubleheaders yesterday, because it kind of cleans the card up to really start to be able to dig in. And when the card gets smaller, I'm able to focus on each of those games individually a little bit more. So surprised to see what Houston's doing against Seattle. I mean, Seattle's fighting and clinging for their playoff lives. I don't feel like Julio Rodriguez has screwed me the last couple of days. I don't know what he's done. So bats have been firing and red hot going into this series. But I was on Sharpie's show, I think yesterday. I was talking about 0-4 against the pitcher that he faced in Fromber yesterday. And I don't even know if he got the hit category yesterday. But I'll tell you what I do know about this game is doesn't bode well for Houston. There's a couple of opportunities here where, Houston specifically, when they play at home on a Sunday, they're working on a 2-7 stretch right now. Two wins, 7 losses. But what's interesting about that 2-7 is they're losing by over 2 runs. 2.25 runs is what they're losing by. So as it starts to paint a clearer picture for me, I see the home division when they're playing against the home divisional opponent off a loss, back-to-back losses, home divisional opponent off of back-to-back losses. They're sporting a 1-10 number as well. So it seems like, in terms of their historical situation, kind of given the opportunity that they're looking at now, is going to be suspect. Hunter Brown, a couple of thoughts I like about Hunter Brown. When he's coming in and he's pitching at home off of a loss, the over has hit in 3 starts for him. So it's a small sample, but the number that started to really jump out at me is the sample for Hunter Brown. It's over 6+ runs on the total. So, we saw this game get over yesterday, and that's kind of the direction I'm leaning here as well today. So I'm thinking I'm going to probably capture Seattle on the full game. I haven't gotten there just yet, but Houston just doesn't seem to be able to close it out when they've kind of given up in the series. So, from that perspective, I like the over in this game. Hunter Brown, I'm also going to jump on his K-prop. His K-prop's over 6.5 Ks. And, he's gone 7 or more strikeouts in 9 of his last 15 games. So at plus 100 at even money, I think it's an opportunity. Yeah, Alfred 44 saying in the chat that he came out of the bullpen last game. And I think you've talked about it before. I know our guy Dabby has too. Pitchers get pissed off when they get yanked or they go back into the bullpen. And so I think he's got something to prove. But just because he's got something to prove and he's going to potentially get his K-prop doesn't mean they still can't get runs between the beginning and the end of the game. So long way of saying I'm on the Hunter Brown K-prop over 6.5, and I'm on that over as well right now. I might adjust it up as we get closer to game time, but that's kind of the quick breakdown for me.
Well, it's very interesting, and I'm doing some research right now on the Little League World Series game. So I'm, as you guys can tell, I'm totally off on this game. But I completely forgot that was today. So that was very interesting as well. I'm probably not going to bet on it, but we'll get there when we get there. But I admittedly like the Mariners here. I just lean that way. Let's talk about the market. 20% of the bets on the Mariners, but 45% of the money on them. So you can kind of see the bigger bets there. It just dropped to 19% of the bets actually, but 81% of the bets and 55% of the money on the Astros. Not a good sign for me personally. And I accidentally closed the total side. So let's get back to it real quick. Totals market here, 50-50 ticket split, but 65% of the money on the over there. So interesting notes. So maybe both these guys get touched up. I'd rather be on the over right now. So
and I see here's an option where you've got the over 8.5 is minus 120 on a couple of books right now, but there's also 9s hanging out there. So this is a situation where normally I would take the 8.5 and I would say, I'll pay a little juice to have the opportunity to take the win if it gets to 9. But because that margin is so significant in terms of the way that they win when they go on the over, I'm going to take that 9. It's plus 105 I see out there right now. So I'm going to lock in, Houston over 9 in the full game. And it's, like I said, plus 105 with the Hunter Brown K-prop. It's even money.
All right, beautiful. Let's shout out to the chat real quick because we haven't talked to you guys here yet. Shout out to Justin McAvee, first comment in the chat as always. Shout out to him. Nico Horner over 1.5 bases. Look at that Stacks pod record now. Climbing back.
It's cooking. He's
Yeah,
cooking.
I remember it was like yesterday. It was like 8 of his last 9, like just dominating. So shout out to Justin McElvey. He's gonna go over 500. We know
You
it.
know what's most impressive about that is the way he started out, and I know he was kind of down on himself, and he was coming into some shows talking about it. But the shout out there is, way to stick to it, my man. You fought
Yep,
back, you learned some things along the way, and uh, not only is it going to make you a better capper, but we're all starting to reap the rewards from you putting the effort in. So keep going, brother. Keep doing it.
exactly. Shout out to you, my man. And I think this is like his first time giving out like his own play of the day too. So usually for everyone starts off that like first time like just shittiness, and then they come through it. And shout out to my guy Justin McElvey. There, we've got Marco Carrasco in here, Mr. Vape. We've got Mike Wilkerson on some Phillies Jays love there. Gerald Jones, Big O, Nutflush Allen joining us. Shout out to you, Nutflush. Hope you're doing well. Professor Chris, Mickey Cohen, Christopher Comentini, Billy Ray Valentine as well. Rocco Rogers.
I like that name.
Appreciate everyone in here. Gerald
You know,
Jones.
Jose, do you know where Billy Ray Valentine name originated from?
No,
Oh man, oh
nope,
man,
no. I have
Mister
no idea.
Mr. Eddie Murphy, Trading Places. Great movie. Put it on the watch list. It's a family
Uh,
friendly movie.
I know I've seen the ending of it, I guess. I've not seen the whole movie, but I know the general gist of it. So I know it's the other guy and it's very funny, and I don't know that guy's name either. I just know him. He's in Ghostbusters. So there you go.
I
There's
mean,
my knowledge of movies there for everyone as well.
okay.
Uh, it's funny. Nut Flush, BJ as well in here. Shout out to my guy BJ, Zane Cole, Able A. It's gonna be a good day here. Nasty Nate in here as well. Sabino and Guano. And by the way, it's funny. Christopher Comentini talking about the hurricane, saying it just became a pussy when it got to that cold water. Apparently, BJ's best bet, by the way, Rangers Braves money line parlay plus 113 there for 5 units. We know how again BJ operates on those big boy bets. So shout out to BJ. It's a good plus money spot there for you as well. Rants in here as well. Appreciate it. Alfred 44, all you guys. Let's get into this next card here, and we'll continue the shout outs here very soon. And Dan Aykroyd is his name. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Jim Candy, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I knew his face. I didn't know his name. Knew his face. Is he still alive? Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah. He actually tours with a band now. He runs I think he's involved in the cannabis industry, and he tours on like a jazz and blues band. So I actually saw him play live here. There's a big jazz festival that goes on downtown in the summertime, and it usually runs for about like 2.5, 3 weeks. And his band has been the headliner the last couple of years. So interesting. I mean, he's old, but he still gets out there and shakes around like a rock star.
That's funny. Shout out to him. And these are very very genuine, solid questions when I have to ask these questions because I honestly have no idea. And by the way, apparently Nasty Nate's telling us he owns a Crystal Head vodka as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
All right, everyone
All
knows
right.
where I am. Red Sox and Yankees. I bet money line yesterday, last night minus 102. I took first 5 again minus 108. We said at the beginning of the series this would be a shit kicking, just the Red Sox putting their foot on the Yankees' throat and just giving them the business, just out back, no lube, just spit shine. Just took Garrett Cole to out back, showed him what's up. So I'm gonna keep betting it. I'm already up units on this series. I've won my 2+ money spots yesterday, so this is kind of just the house's money. Bullpen day for the Red Sox. Winkowski and Nick Penvetta back again. We love that. Clark Schmidt's good, sure, but the Yankees are broken mentally, and we've broken them. So Red Sox full game first 5 for me. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a tricky game. So, I don't know if you covered the cash there. Minus 105 opening for the Yankees. It's moved to minus 110. So slight movement, 39% of the bets, but 82% of the cash on the Yankees right now. So it's a Clark Schmidt start, and kind of that supporting documentation around that is in Boston. So something I've been tracking is these teams, when they cover the first 5, if there's a significant enough bump the following game, what does that do to their overall opportunity? And Boston, when they win their previous first 5 on the road, they come back at a 7-15 spot. So 7-15 straight up, 8-14 on the run line, and 8-14 to the under. So when I look at the total on this game, again, opened up at 9.5, down to 9, with 62% of the bets and only 53% of the cash. I say only, but obviously there's some bigger money coming in on the over in this game. That's a tricky spot here. I'm inclined to lean with Clark Schmidt, at least in the first 5. So I hate to do it because the Yankees look dead. Yesterday they looked dead. The day before, I think I was on them the night before, and then I thought back to what you had said about I think you colorfully described how the hopes and dreams were going to be snatched out of their souls or something to that effect. And so I was disappointed in myself for not listening to the Boston Red Sox whisperer, but I'm going to go with the Yankees. I'm going to take Clark Schmidt in the first 5, and I got him at -115. So I don't know about the full game. We'll see what happens, I guess, as it stretches out, but I'm going to take that Yankees first 5, just given that trend that I shared about Boston and kind of how they rally. So give me the Yankees first 5. It doesn't bode well for a Clark Schmidt start either. There are some numbers against him, but I just think in this case here, with the way they're going to be jostling around out of that bullpen, I think at least the Yankees will start hot after getting beat down twice with the club. So they played baby seal the last 2 days, and now they gotta dodge the club this time here so they don't get dragged home for dinner.
I could only imagine if the Red Sox win this game, especially in convincing fashion again, I can only imagine the riots in the streets that will happen in New York. There will just be blood and guts all over Yankee Stadium, and I personally can't wait. It'd be a real shame. I personally would hate to see the Yankees fold up and lose this game, so it'd be a real shame. Let's go on to the next game here. I'm on full game first 5 Red Sox. Mike M on first 5, and Mike did an eloquent job on the market for the money line and total there. Like you mentioned, 39% of the bets, 82% of the money on the Yankees. Not typically where I want to be against, I'll be honest, but we ride. And 62% of the bets and 53% of the money on the under. Very interesting. Giants Braves. Giants offense showed up for once. I needed them to show up the day previous, but I guess that's what happens when you face Yanni Chirinos versus Spencer Strider. But there's just no chance I'm backing them here again. I would love to hear what our guy Nutflush Allen has to say about this game. Obviously, he says he has a few plays that he really likes in this game, or on this card. Excuse me. It's interesting because the Braves have dropped down. They were -138 last night, now down to -225. Or sorry, 238 -225. So that's very interesting. I could see a little bit of runs here just based off of that, but I don't want anything to do with this game, Mike. I'll be honest. 68% of the bets and 99% of the money on the under in this game, which is hilarious, and 82% of the bets and 61% of the money on the Braves. So slightly bigger bets than the Giants, but there's just no chance I'm taking this game. Shout out to BJ, who's got the Braves in his parlay, but I just don't want to back Jakob Younis, and I'm obviously not going to lay that juice. So easy pass game for me. What do you think?
Yeah, very, very, very tricky numbers here. San Fran obviously found those bats yesterday, and it seems like that's how San Fran rolls, right? They find some spots to hit, and then the rest of the time, that when you expect them to start hitting again, they kind of roll over and die. But couple numbers that I was tracking. Atlanta, I was going to say Boston again. I got Boston on the brain. The Atlanta Braves, when they're at home and they had just won the previous game going back to June 1st, they're 22-3. So yeah, there seem to be an immovable force when they catch that rhythm at home. They're winning by over 3.5 runs as well. So not a huge ROI on it because the numbers are pretty jacked. But even if you took that steep money line, you'd be okay. The spot that I'm going to lean to though is the run line, 20-5. On the run line at home after a win. And the average margin on that is 2.06 runs as well. So definitely a little bit of fat still left on the bone, a little bit of meat left on the bone, I should say, when it comes to that run line spot. And I just feel like it's a good number. So I can get the -1.5 right now. The -1.5 is -110. So reasonable number, moderately priced to see them come out and smash. And kind of the numbers support it. So I might circle back depending on how many plays I get for this card, and I might come back and swoop up that first 5 because I like a Max Fried start too. I'm a Max Fried believer. So, but for now, I'm going to lock in Atlanta -1.5, -110. And I know I saw BJ's parlay in there. I'll talk about his other game in a few minutes as well. But that was the first thing that jumped out at me too was, these two teams, Atlanta and he had the Rangers was the other one, are kind of in the best spots or best opportunities. I think they pull it out today. So, BJ, I certainly endorsed that parlay, man.
Nut Flush, I'm dropping a little hint about the Giants team total under. I'm looking at the Giants team total under 3.5 -125. First 5 team total over 1.5 is under -110. That's on Bet Online, and they don't do as good of a job as Bovada with team totals. So no, but they're the same price, both -125 for the under there, 3.5. So very interesting. Dewey Finn. Go ahead.
I'm glad he mentioned that because there's 90. I think like you do when it comes to this 99% stuff. Like, how could you get there? But there's been a trend that I've been tracking is that high pitcher K prop rate. There's a little system that's built into our friends over at Action, and it supports the under 9 today. High pitchers that have better than average K prop ratios against the Major League Baseball. I think it's like 55% or something to that effect. Are 11-3 right now to the under. So I like that nut flush look with the San Fran under spot there. I think this could be a thread the needle type of game where let me just pull the number up as we talk about it here. But I think with the Atlanta Braves, come on, my DK site's been on the suspect list lately. The Atlanta Braves -1.5 and the under 8.5 is priced at +285. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that make my card today. But I do like that San Fran team total look under as well.
Yeah, Nuffless saying that Kapler is scrambling this lineup today. As soon as I get the confirmation, I'm pounding this game. Yeah, I think there's better games here, but I do admit the Nufflush's team total under, and you on the Braves -1.5. It does make the Braves more interesting, like -1.5 there as well.
I think the full game because just like we saw yesterday, they're not. Where the runs come, they come in bunches, and you just don't know when they're going to come. So is it the third inning, the second time through the rotation that Jakob gets touched up, or is it the seventh inning when they go to the bullpen that they go through a rally of 7 runs in an inning? So you just don't know when it's going to strike, and that's kind of why I was leaning to the full game on that run line just to get the most opportunity. Even though they're the home team and you lose that final, I don't think it's going to matter. I think they just hammer down on them today. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'll be interested. I'm gonna write down Braves -1.5 here. And by the way, Nutflush said I said this earlier. Well, I would say like 2 days ago or something like that. He said I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but he believes that the Giants have failed to score 4 runs in 23 of their last 30 ball games. So that 3.5, not bad, not bad. Shout out to Nutflush Allen there as well. And by the way, someone asked about ballpark pal and what are they saying? I'm not a huge ballpark pal guy, but I'll tell you, it's a -6% home runs, -15% doubles and triples, +5% singles, and -5% runs there as well.
Yeah, the wind's blowing, almost directly in from the outfield down the center. So tough hitting conditions today. Austin Riley is probably prime suspect to get something done today since everybody else on the team got it done yesterday but him. He might be a guy to take a look at today.
Okay. All right. Let's go to our next game here. Let's go Tigers Cleveland. And I doubled up on this game, Mike, and I bet it last night. I saw one of my sites had a 7.5 and the other one had an 8. And I was like, well, I'm obviously have to bet the under right now. So I took the under 8 -110, and I took the first 5 under 4.5. I took some juice here. Not really, but I like playing this. I took the juice 4.5 -130.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
So I'm on both unders there, doubled up. I was hoping it was going to be Eddie Rodriguez yesterday. It was Matt Manning. So I was going to bet the first 5 under something in that game. I did not. Eddie dominated the Guardians before, as our guy Dabby Cab mentioned yesterday. And the Tigers just remain one of those teams that can't hit. And it seems like with the bets, unders and Guardians games, just Always seem to be great ideas. So here I am. Betting another. They're the worst team against lefties. Oh my God, too. Worst team against lefties this month. They have 19 weighted runs created plus this month against lefties. That's 226 plate appearances, too. That's disgusting. Detroit's 27th. They only have 82 plate appearances against lefties this month, but 40 weighted runs created plus. So maybe it's too interesting, but first 5 under as well. So that's what I'm on in full game as well. And by the way, shout out to Troy Torrance. We knew Troy Torrance was the athlete of this group. He said just got done with semifinals basketball game, just added another 3.5 to the purse. Fuck yeah, Troy. Love that. Love that for you, buddy. Shout out to you. Thoughts on Guardians Tigers?
Yeah, this is a play. I was with you on that first 5 spot. I got the under 4.5 last night as well. I say last night, it was somewhere between last night and this morning as the sun started to pop up. But yeah, 4.5 for me was the spot. I was really happy with that number. A couple trends that I was looking at with Cleveland specifically are how they fare against divisional opponents, and the under, has been a very strong run for them. So, the first 5 under 4.5 for me was something I locked in. I got it at minus 130. When I look at the totals here and I look at the cash flow, I see 72% of the bets, but only 68% of the cash. So a slight downtick on the cash to the Detroit Tigers. The number moves slightly. It opened at minus 115. It's down to minus 112. I wouldn't be disappointed for anybody thinking the Tigers get it done. I like Erod. I'm a Rodriguez fan. I think his numbers, Logan Allen, okay. I mean, his first pitch rate, pretty high. He's, second highest in the major leagues as far as getting a strike on that first pitch, which I think is important because it puts the pitcher in the favorable condition. I think that supports the under. I also don't – I took a ton of nerfies on Detroit to start the season, and it was profitable. But as of late, and I said this on the show, your show on Friday, I was in the chat there, and I jumped in and said, Detroit's kind of modus operandi here lately. When you see a total around 7.5, what scares me about that is the 8. And a shout out to you for getting the 8. But as far as a live look is concerned, they get a lot of runs scored on them in that first and second inning, and then that number gets bloated like a balloon. So I had the other day, the total was, I think it was 7.5 or 8. It was right in the same number, right in the same, locale. They had 4 runs scored on them in the first inning, or there was a total of 4 runs scored in the first inning, killed my nerfy. And, but I did go back in there and I got the total, and it was 12.5. So, the game still ended. I think 4-3 was the final, but that's kind of the, the impact of those early runs. So as far as a recommended live look, if you are going to watch this game live, or you're looking to get some action in mid-afternoon, look for Detroit to score early, look for somebody to score early, and, don't be afraid to jump on that live, especially if you can get it at 9, 10, maybe even 10.5, depending on the number. If it's 10.5, you and I are screwed on our first 5 bet, but, just something to look at live.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hopefully they score a run in the first inning and nothing else, and then it jumps the total up, and then you guys will be set. And you guys are doing Monday night. I know you guys Monday night live streams. I know it's Sunday, but tomorrow, don't forget Jimmy and Mike M break down the whole Monday card as well before they go live for certain games tomorrow. So it'll be a whole lot of fun as well. So Mike,
we've been having a hell of a run. We've been on a hell of a run the last.
You fucking cash a casual plus 1,000s on that show to start them off. I mean, come on.
What happens? That's the benefit of the live bets, and it's always a lot of fun. All the boys get the cocktails flying in them, and then we make some crazy live bets, and somehow they come through quite a bit. So let's keep it going.
More often than not. Toronto Blue Jays, Cincinnati Reds, and here comes the return of Hunter Green. I'm excited for Reds fans here because Hunter Green comes back today. Nick Lodolo just got sent to AA for his rehab assignment. This is exactly what the Reds needed, and they didn't go out and acquire a starting pitching at the deadline because I'm sure the general manager was like, we've got 2 deadline acquisitions coming, and Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green when they come back, blah, 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 blah. And Nick Lodolo looked particularly horrible when he was here, but he's much more capable than what they have now. So shout out to them. Hunter Green is going to be an interesting case here. his rehab assignments. He basically was there for the whole month of August. So he went to complex league, 2 innings, 1 hit, nothing there, 3 Ks. Then he went to AAA, 2 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 K, 1 walk, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 home runs allowed there, 2 Ks, 3 walks. And then his last start on the 15th, 5 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run not earned, 9 Ks, 3 walks there. So you can obviously tell he's stretched out and ready to go here. Honestly, this felt like another first 5 under spot for me here. But I looked at the market, and the market totally disagreed with me, and it kept me off of it. Right now, where are we? Oh no, I guess I looked at the wrong thing here. It's 58% of the bets and only 50% of the money on the under. So basically 50-50 ticket split. Maybe I was looking at the Reds. I don't know. But the Reds money lines here, 72% of the bets and 73% of the money on the Reds. So I guess I do like the under, but I wanted nothing to do with this game. I just didn't think I didn't want to back Hunter Green on his first start back. The high velocity shit can get sent out pretty quickly, especially in Great American. So I lean under, but I had nothing doing on this game. And shout out to Ryu, who has looked pretty good in his return back. I remember there was a live stream and we were watching Ryu pitch, and he got crushed with a comeback, and Jimmy was like, "Oh, he non-contact the injury. He blew out his knee. He's done." And then 5 minutes later, Jimmy was like, "Oh, he's back up. He's fine. He's fine. Never mind." But Ryu's last 2 starts, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned against the Cubs, and then at Cleveland, 4 innings of shutout baseball. There, no hits allowed either. So I like Ryu. I think he can keep pitching well, but I want nothing to do with this game. What about you?
It's exciting to see Bouquett come back. I had a tough time with this game, and I'll tell you the biggest reason I had for the tough time in this is the Reds factors when it comes to the totals, and I want to get the over. I feel like with Bouquett coming back, obviously it's a bat that's proven to be electric, and then that just kind of elevates everybody else because Vladdy Guerrero has been on the the sleeper bus since the All-Star break. He really hasn't been producing for squad. And then you take Bouquett out of the lineup, and it's been Toronto unders. And yesterday was another under spot for Toronto, although it got a little sweaty there kind of after the as we got towards down the stretch. I think the final score was, I know it went under. I don't recall the final score, but the Reds, as far as the last game of a series for the Reds, when they're home in the last game of a series, it's 4-16 to the under. It's gone under its last 7 in a row. And I had another Reds under trend it's ridiculous when you look at the numbers. The Reds at home in general, going back to July 2nd, so right before the 4th of July, 2-19 to the under as well. And it's been going under by over 2 runs. So I have to sit with this game a little bit. I'm inclined to take that under, but the thing that's got me kind of on the fence about it is I want to take the George Springer RBI and home run prop. That George Springer home run is plus 495, and his RBI is I don't see his RBI. I don't really see his RBI. We'll see. Maybe that means he's not going to play. But I'll tell you what, if he doesn't play.
That shit out, Mike. I'll tell you, I was muted that whole time. Good job by me, but they don't want to put that shit out, Mike. They're too scared of you.
I don't know that, but yeah. So I'm on the fence. I lean the under. I like your first 5 under look too. I think Ryu has been playing well, and despite the the early showing that he had that first game, he got touched up. But shout out after that he was able to kind of pull himself together and pick himself up by the proverbial bootstraps, get back on that bump, and shove. So we'll see what happens.
Shove he has. Shout out to my guy Ryu. Very fun and nice to see Dabby Cab in the chat.
Okay.
Shout out to Dabby as always. We appreciate you for watching, my man. I still haven't watched the shorts yet, but I'm going to, Dabby. I promise. Let's go to Minnesota and Pittsburgh. And this is the age-old question that we have to ask ourselves. Are we fading Dallas Keuchel today? I was really back and forth on it in game 1, and I ended up fading him and Wainwright that day. And both obviously came through very easily. And I was like, huh, maybe I should just not overthink it and just fade these very shitty pitchers. Because 1 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs against the Phillies. Now, that was at the Phillies. The Phillies are a good team. The Pirates are not a good team. He's back at home where his other start was a 5 inning good performance. It was 8 hits, but it was okay against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Um, I want to fade him here, Mike. I really do. I just don't know if the Pirates are the squad to do it, unfortunately. Against lefties, they're horrible. Let's see here. Against lefties in this month, specifically 162 plate appearances, 21st, 77 weighted runs created plus. So I just don't know if they're a team I can really trust fading Keuchel with. I'll be honest. And the public or everyone else obviously agrees. They say fade Keuchel. 57% of the bets and 93% of the money with the Pirates here, and 60% of the bets and 62% of the money on the over. So they think this is happening, getting some runs. Admittedly, I want to be on the Pirates, but I'm kind of hesitant again here, Mike. Talk me into it, please.
Tricky spot. These two teams for me personally can eat a full bowl of shit and throw their nuts up. I just can't find a way to get the rhythm down for these guys. Minnesota yesterday, they're beating them up, and then Pittsburgh comes back. Now they got Bido on the mound, and yeah, it's a Keuchel fade spot. But you talk about your numbers here. The cash flow report plus 105 opening for Pittsburgh, and it's moved up 13 cents to plus 118. 57% of the bets, but 93% of the cash is what I would consider to be both a public and sharp road dog. And Vegas doesn't care. Only 7% of the cash is on the Twins money line. It went from minus 125 to minus 130. I'm inclined to think they bounce back. This would be just a straight degenerate play. I got to see what happens as my first fives kick off to begin with, because I'm going to take that Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota. I am going to back these guys. So trend that I was tracking here as well as the lefty versus lefty matchups. It's not a huge margin, but it's a low price for what I think is the better team in Minnesota. At least they're still kind of playing for relevancy, I believe. And, the lefty versus lefty matchup, when the home team's playing lefty versus lefty, they're 87 and 59. So I'm not sure if that correlates to the first five or the full game in this case, but I am going to jump in on it. I'm going to take, I'm going to take just a full game for now because I see FD has the best number for the first five. That always scares me. But I can get the full game at minus 130 for Minnesota. So I'm going to lock it in. I got Keuchel. I don't know who this Baraki is. I see Baraki's listed as the starter right now. Is he the opener? Is that what's going on?
Interesting. I have not seen that. And let me refresh because my books still have Keuchel. Maybe Baraki will come in after. But I guess it might be. I don't know what it is.
Because I don't see a K prop for Baraki. I see a Bido K prop, but it's at 3.5.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's probably an opener for our guy Osvaldo here. So I still have him listed as a starter on books, which is interesting.
I'm gonna have to keep a closer eye on that. If it is whoever the hell Baraki is, whoever that guy is, if it is him as the opener and they're going to Bido as the starter or the primary, then I'll take Pittsburgh in the first five as well. But for now, I'm just going to take the Minnesota full game minus 130.
Interesting. All right. Opener situation like Rocco Rogers is saying, it seems. So that's very interesting. Yeah. I'm refreshing to see if I had anything and nothing yet. So very good.
Baraki's he's 1-0. He's got a 4.07 ERA. Suggest this might be another spot too where you look at if they score a bunch of runs on him in the first inning or the second inning. This might be again an opportunity to live bet. So not just giving you guys pregame plays here, but some things to look for as you're kind of perusing the live board and trying to get some more action. Live betting's where it's at, and if you can catch an opportunity to be smart about it though, because these guys are capable. If you see 7 runs in the first 2 innings and the total's 11, I would stay away from it because they're probably going to end up with 14 or 15 runs. So just some kind of cursory notes to things to look for.
All right. Well, good notes there, Mike. We appreciate your wisdom and knowledge as always. Let's go to our next game here. Minnesota, New York Mets, St. Louis Cardinals here. Dakota Hudson, Carlos Carrasco. I think I've just made it a blanket rule that I'm not going to bet on a game where two teams just have no reason to really give a fuck. And this is what's happening here. Carlos Carrasco fighting for his career. Dakota Hudson just quietly just racking up wins, I guess, or quietly racking up wins in the major league. Shout to him. He's a fine righty, but I don't really believe in him all that much. 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the A's. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs against the Rays. 7 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs against Minnesota. He's given up home runs, home run, 2 home runs, and 1 home run again in those 3 starts. But I just really have nothing for this game. We can talk about the money line and the markets here. 64% of the bets and 84% of the money on the Mets. So very interesting. A line, I guess, a fade of our guy. But very interesting. 23% of the bets and 69% of the money on the under in that game. That alone makes me want to bet the under, truthfully. But I've got nothing in this game here, Mike. What do you think?
I think, this is kind of one of those, previously described bum fights that I think we can carve some money out of. So I'll tell you where. So here's where I'm looking and where I'm going to ultimately go. So first of all, my primary rule, always trust your gut. I say I hate taking the Mets RBI spots. And then I go out there yesterday and take Brandon Nemo for an RBI. Again, they got 100 runs in the game. The guy's the only guy. I must have found the exact loophole yesterday to find all the guys that did nothing when it came to teams scoring a ton of runs because, J-Rod got me, Brandon Nemo got me, and then I stopped watching it after that. So here's some thoughts, though. The Mets, on an away game that they've won with an over, they're 9-22 to run it back. They're 7-24 on the run line, and the under's gone under 18-11, so 11-18 to the under. They're 3-9 to the under as of late, the last 12 games, and it's been going under by a margin of 1.75. So when I mentioned that margin, just gives me the confidence to be able to go in there and get it. But I'll tell you the other thing I was looking at specifically, the Mets with Cookie, when Cookie's an away dog, they're 2-8, and he's losing by 2.5 runs. So what I am going to do with this game, and this is again just a straight. Give me an opportunity. There's not a ton I got going on this afternoon. I actually got a couple of things going on this afternoon, so I'm not going to be able to sit around and watch games. I want to put something in there and come back and surprise myself too. Yeah, I got some yard work to do. But anyways, so here's where I'm going with this. The Mets are plus 130 opener. They're plus 114, 62% of the bets, 82% of the cash. Again, a public road dog. And, here we got the Cardinals opening up at minus 155. It's now down to minus 125. So, for me, I think the value has been inserted into that Cardinals play, given the spot and the way that the Mets beat them up yesterday and some of what I know is the inconsistency of their bats. So kind of test a theory, and I kind of give Billy Briz a shout out for this because he talked about Thursdays and, the sharps versus the public when they get paid and so on. The books close. A lot of local books close on Sundays, right? So Sunday's your last day for action. The public being all over a road dog to me scares the ever-loving crap out of me. That's where you're thinking, oh, it's the Mets. They just wailed on them. Everyone's jumping in. The money's moving in the right direction. Vegas is showing concern. Would be a great spot for the Cardinals to come out and win. So I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to take the Cardinals minus 125. St. Louis, it's still in the realm of the number that I like to play. So there's my number.
Nufflush likes Cardinals team total over. He's asking about Cardinals team total overs. I have a 5.5 even money and 2.5 versus 5 at minus 155. Again, you can look at other books. That's just what Bet Online has. But that's high. But it looks like it might get there. Like I said, I just don't want to bet this game. I don't trust either franchise. I lean under just because of the tickets and money's there. But I like your explanation there about, public and sharps and the books closing, et cetera, et cetera. So I like that look, Mike.
It's an untested and untracked theory, but I think there's some relevancy to it. The St. Louis Cardinals in the under 9.5 is a plus 245 parlay as well. So that might be something I look at too.
Yeah, and No Flush telling us to pay attention to those Cardinals numbers against Cookie. So shout out to No Flush Allen. If you're gonna bet this game, look at those numbers, and those are easily found in Baseball Savant if you guys are looking for them. Let's go to our next game. I've seen my guy Troy Torrance posting a bunch about this game. Cubs, Royals here, and it seems like it's a Cubs spot according to Troy. I'd love to hear him say what he has to say in the chat. But I mean, Jordan Lyles is horrible. I get it, and the professor, shout to him, thinking he can start pitching better at home. Obviously, um, maybe this is a too simplistic spot. I don't know. I just thought that this was an easy Cub spot, but obviously the line indicates that it is as well. So I just couldn't get myself to bet this game. Maybe if you want to bet a money, if you want to bet a -1.5, go ahead. But again, I just wanted nothing to do with this game. Again, I don't know. It's I guess keeping this shit tight recently has led to me having a lot of success out there in the last week or so. So it's been nice. So we'll keep it going. Let's talk about this because we have a sting spot, as our guy Elio would say. 73% of the bets on the Chicago Cubs, Mike, but only 1% of the money on the Cubs. 99% of the money on the Royals here. And that's shocking, obviously. Only 27% of the bets. That's crazy to see there. So someone's made a big bet. Someone's moved on the Royals heavily. 36% of the bets and 71% of the money on the under in this game, Mike. Please shine some light on this game because that's a hell of a crazy thing right there.
Sure is. First of all, shout out to you, man. Look at your record. I saw that as you posted it last night. You're almost down to the single digits and climbing. Still time to go.
Yeah. Still time to go. Yeah.
You've been on a nice run, and you tightened up the action.
God bless the Yankees. God bless the Yankees, man. Thank you for them to being just embarrassing. We love to see that.
I said earlier in the season, as the Reds go, so will Jose's record, and or the Red Sox rather, not the Reds. But getting back to this game, I think that the numbers support the way that the Cubs shit the bed on a Sunday. The Cubs on Sundays are 4-15 straight up, 5-14 on the run line. Not a good looking number. So the counterpoint to that is Jordan Lyles stinks, right? He's 1-8 straight up, and he's 2-7 on the run line. But Kyle Hendricks is no spring chicken himself. So when I looked at these numbers, though, what did jump out to me is the total. So the Cubs on Sunday, 12-4 to the over, with a margin of 2.25 runs on that over, right? So we've got, again, the confidence in saying, it's 2.25 runs. If it was like a 0.5, that, by the way, that Minnesota trend that I claimed there with the home team lefty, 87-59, it is like a 0.5. So it's a straight, but it's a number that the coin's weighted more in your direction than just a straight coin flip, but it's not anything that kind of is illuminating and makes you get excited about it. But when I see this, I do get excited about it. The totals drop down as well. So 71% of the big bets coming in on that under, suggesting that someone's going to shove. Is it going to be Lyles? If it's Lyles, this total's in trouble because the Cubs will certainly be suspect. But Bellinger, Warner, Dansby Swanson, the Cubs lineup is stacked, and I think they can easily touch this guy up. So again, the margin, when I look at the Jordan Lyles spot, his over when he plays afternoon games is 6-3 with that margin of 2.5 as well. So it's a double dip crack for me here. I'm going to go the first 5. I'm going to take the over in the first 5. It's a 5 I see, unless anybody sees a better number out there. I see an over 5 is -110. And I see the full game is down to a 9. And the 9 is, I got a -115. So I think those are, and, again, we got the wind. If you look at Wrigley wind, blowing out, kind of out to the right field, at about 7 miles an hour. So it's a marginal win factor, but it does rank as one of the higher games in terms of score probability for me. So I want to capitalize on this. I want to capitalize on the Hendricks and Lyles getting runs let up on them. I also want to capitalize on the full game opportunity for these guys just to keep beating them down. So I'm with you, BJ. It screams over to me as well. I got the first 5 and full games. So 5 and 9.
Hmm. Shout out to you. The 5 was a little high, but 9 seems like a great spot. Full game. By the way, Big O asking about if they give us a total or like how many bets for the money and stuff. They do, yeah. And this is one of the 3 games that has over 10,000 bets in money line wise, and it still has that 99% of the money. So that's very interesting. And same with the total here. On one of 3 games at night with over 10,000% or 10,000 bets on it already. So interesting enough.
99% on that Kansas City spot. Just, I would go with a Bobby Witt RBI. How about that? What's the Bobby Witt RBI price too while we're looking at this thing here?
Yeah, I mean,
we can go on. I'll just line shop this while we're continuing to cruise through the card.
I've been trying to get into those RBI props more, Mike. You inspired me to get me into more, get me them on one more. So shout out to you. I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna bet this game, but I wish you guys luck. The over is definitely appealing as well. So Milwaukee, Texas, and our guy Troy also was mentioning the Rangers as well as a good spot here in the chat. BJ's on the Rangers here. Maximus Scherzer on the bump against Adrian Hauser. I mean, yeah, it's just one of the better offenses in the Rangers, and it makes a whole lot of sense for me. Scherzer can hold down a bad Brewers team. It's obviously minus 200 ish. So if you're putting it in a parlay like BJ is, I get it. Totally understand. I'm not going to straight bet it. I don't really bet run lines all that often, so I'm not going to bet that here. And I'm probably just going to lay off as well here. It unfortunately leads to a little bit more of a boring show when I just pass all these games, but it happens. 84% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Rangers here. And totals wise, 70% of the bets and 88% of the money on the under in this game, shockingly enough. What do you think, Mike?
I don't know how you take a Rangers under, although this series has kind of been the neutralizer for the Texas Rangers, and the Brewers have been finding a way to get it done. Texas at home, I've been tracking that Texas home when they win first 5 factor, but Texas at home, and after they lose the first 5, the next game rally back to a 12-4, both straight up and on the run line. Also at home on Sundays, 9-1 spot on Sundays. So 82% of the bets, 79% of the cash, and the number is moving on up the old leaderboard there. This sounds like it might be a Texas -1 play. I haven't gotten there just yet. I do like Scherzer. I do like backing Scherzer. I think he's the guy that, I can't believe I'm saying that. If he was still wearing a Mets uniform, I absolutely would not be saying that. But I'm certainly not an Adrian Hauser backer. So let me just see what the -1 looks like here. I think that's going to be the route that I go with this game. I just think there's too much value with the support that Texas bats can give to not get in there and at least take a crack at it. But it's not my favorite play. It's just a situation. I like BJ's probably a lot there where he had the Atlanta game tied to this Texas game. Takes the juice down on both spots. Yeah, they both have to win. Texas is -150 at the -1. I'm gonna pass.
Well, I have a -1, -150 on my card as well. So I can't judge you if you take it. So I don't hate the look, but it's just too much juice for a Rangers team that I don't believe in personally. So
what I hate about that -150 number is you see -193 out there. The line opened close to -150. Now you got to lay a whole run just to get the push. It's not going to make the card.
It's ugly business. I agree with you. You know what's not going to make my card here, Mike? White Sox, Rockies. Who the fuck cares about this game? This is the easiest pass in the card. I don't give a fuck. Chris Flexen versus Dylan Cease. I hope both these guys get crushed. I don't care. Pass game for me. I want nothing to do with this game. Market wise, 53% of the bet, 69% of the money on the over, and money line 62% of the bet and 60% of the money on the Rockies. But fuck out of my face. I don't give a fuck about this game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I like, I like the Cease Flexen matchup. I like Flexen when he was in Seattle. I'm not so sure I like him now where he is. I think the White Sox might be a sneaky look here, but do you want to lay, -140 or take a -1 at -110? I don't. I'm not in that business with trying to trust these guys. and Colorado at home with Flexen. Can they get that done? I would lean more, I guess, to that side than I would. You know what I would probably look at is the team total over for Colorado. I'm not going to play this game, but I would look at the team total, or I'm sorry, the Flexen strikeout prop over is plus 120 over 3.5. The Rockies team total over 5.5, still a little steep for me. This is probably a live bet spot, as we kind of talk through it. Shout out to Nutflush. I see what he says in there with the I can't be mad at that either. Flexen certainly can get touched. Not a game I want to be involved with. I don't need to.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to get in this game either. No fucking.
They have blasted the Colorado Rockies have blasted the White Sox this series. 14-1 the first game, 11-5 the second game. Overs cashed comfortably in both spots, and Colorado was priced very nicely in those previous two spots as well. So I'll probably do a little more research on
it. You could not pay me to do research on this game. No fucking chance. No way. Pass here. Second easiest bet on the day for me. Orioles -1 again. I didn't even watch last night's game. I didn't watch a second of last night's game. And I saw it was like 2-1 last time I checked. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll get a push. I go to sleep. I wake up. And I look at the score and I see 5 runs in the top of the 10th inning. And I start cackling. I just start laughing. I'm like, these Orioles, man, they're just a machine, -1 machines.
This is another spot where I was able to thread the needle and finding a ton of runs getting scored and the guys not to get the RBIs. And I had Rooshman yesterday that just I had it done. After it happened so much, because Tucker didn't play yesterday and I had him in there too. But it happened so many times that I started looking at the lineup to see, are these guys playing? How could there be all these runs and they're not playing? But yeah, I was on that run line yesterday too. That was a nice little treat in the 10th inning to get away. Once it went 2-2, I was like, that run line's dead. And I started just watching the UFC. But hell yeah, shout out to those Orioles, man. They keep getting it done.
Yeah, they do. And they're a fun watch. I'll tell you that. I'm going to obviously take them today. I took them -1 again. I laid the juice again, -154. So shout out to Pedro again.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
This spot is different, a little different, because now we have, I guess, sharp action on the A's, 79% of the bets and 46% of the money on the O's. But as Jimmy has said many times, the market has not mattered even a little bit with these Orioles. They just keep fucking doing their thing. So Orioles -1. I'll take my chances here today with JP Sears, who's allegedly the best pitcher on the A's. 35% of the bets and 87% of the money on the under in this game as well, which does not feel great when you have a -1. But I'll roll my dice here with the Orioles every time. So I'll keep betting them -1, -154. What do you guys think?
Anybody that's looking now at Baltimore and thinking, they've been so automatic, can we get it done? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you missed the train because they were just straight cash for so long. And this is just a trend play for me. I've been banging away at it, and do I want to take the run line here? I'll probably get there. I'm not going to give anything official today. It's -120 right now, so I want to see how this line kind of maneuvers a little bit. I think we're going to see some buyback because JP Sears is a favorite of a lot of the sharp money when it comes to Oakland Athletics. And and he's at home, which traditionally Oakland's been terrible at home. We know that, but we're still at that point of the season where we can see some regression, and that regression could lead to Oakland starting to get the bats rolling again. And we saw yesterday they didn't just roll over and die. So makes me nervous to jump on it right now. I don't want to just give an auto bet there that I've been rolling with, because again, you win 15 out of 17 or 18 of them. You can afford to take the loss, but then you throw it out there and give it to somebody that hasn't taken it before and they take that L, it's going to hurt. And it's juicy. It kind of goes against my strategy of laying runs and in odds. So I'm going to pass for now.
Well, I'm on the O's. Let's fucking go, Orioles. I can't wait to watch this game. Well, I might not even watch this game because I've got many things to do tonight, unfortunately. But it's going to be a fun. Yeah, unfortunately, football season comes and comes. It's truly tragic. I'm at the beach right now, Mike, and I have a 2-3 hour drive to go back to do a show today at 7 p.m. and a show
Oh,
at 8 after. So
oh,
yes, yes. Very busy day, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun nonetheless. Might even go play some mini golf before we head out of here. So let's go to
nice.
this last game here, Mike, because I have people waiting for me very nicely and patiently and quietly today too. It's nice. Shout out to Helga, who's listening as we speak.
Shout out to hell.
Phillies. Shout out to Helga. Phillies Nationals in the Little League World Series game. Williamsport, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Mike, I don't know about you. I can't fucking stand the Little League World Series. I don't watch a second of
No.
it. I actively avoid it. However, two things piqued my interest. One, I think Venezuela's in it this year again, so obviously I tune in for that. And two, I have seen odds now for the Little League World Series. I have seen Bovada throw out some odds for the Little League World Series, and admittedly, it is a little funny to imagine laying a minus 200 in the Little League World Series. For example, Mike, what might I offer you, Mike? Midwest, North Dakota for plus 500, plus 550. Might I offer you that? Might
I
I
mean,
also? What about Canada versus Team Mexico at plus 550?
I, I don't take Canada in anything as a general principle because of the Team USA, Team Canada rivalry. So no, you can't interest me in that one either.
What about a two-team parlay of Mexico minus 1,000 versus Nevada minus 1,000 against each of those teams? You parlay those together for a cool minus 476.
Who's actually taking those bets? That seems.
Uh, I
I'd
don't get it.
rather bet on how far I could throw a quarter across the street than I would. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think so. No thanks. Pass. Nice parlay. Put that together with. That's your hip to be square parlay of the day right there.
Yeah, well, sure. How about I just throw? How about I throw? I'm gonna throw my guy BJ's parlay in here as well. We'll just make it a casual four-legger. Where
Keep
are the
that in mind.
BJ? We're all set. If you just put your two legs, the two minus 1,000 favorites in the Little League World Series, it's plus 161. What could possibly go wrong? Oh my gosh. Volunteer umpires too. Just hilarious. Just hilarious. By the way, Nutflush Allen says to tell Helga to thanks for letting us borrow your time.
Thanks,
She said
Helga.
no. She said no problem. Very quietly down there. So there you go, BJ. Let's talk about this game. So I wrote down the previous scores of the other Little League World Series just to get an indication of where this total might be around. First, Pirates, Cardinals, 6-3 Pirates, Mets, Phillies, 8-2 Mets, Cubs, Pittsburgh, 7-1 Cubs. Oh, hello, Helga. 3-0 Cleveland, and 5-3 Red Sox over the Orioles yesterday or last year. So total around 9. Probably a good match there. I will admit, I am semi-interested in the Washington Nationals here. I am interested in the Nationals here because guess what? Who the fuck cares about the Washington Nationals as a little leaguer? What fucking little leaguer is going to go to the Washington Nationals and be like, fuck yeah, CJ Abrams, I fucking love you. I have your rookie cards. You have fucking JT Realmuto, their shortstop, Wheeler, Nola, Castellanos. I bet you those kids are going to be saying there's a long drive by Castellanos all fucking week to that dude. They're going to be talking about Tom Brenneman the whole time. The Nationals are going to get no fucking love, no respect. I like the Nationals here a little bit. So I will probably stay off this game, but I like the Nationals. And Trevor Williams, though he is disgusting, watching him pitch is horrifying, especially if you have money on him. He has been okay, and he has been a money maker at times. His last 4 starts have been horrible. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs allowed against the Oakland A's. At the Philadelphia Phillies, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 home runs there again. So he just saw these Phillies, got crushed by them at the Phillies. Not good. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs at the Mets. And he has seen the Phillies a shitload. This is going to be his 4th time seeing the Phillies. I mentioned that 4 2/3, 6 earned runs, 5 innings, 3 earned runs off 2 home runs, and then 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs off 2 home runs again. He just fucking gives it up against these guys. Jesus. Again, I pass. I would bet the Nationals gun to head here, but I don't think I'm going to. Market-wise in this real quick, unsurprisingly, 91% of the bets and 92% of the money on the Phillies. Not a shock there. 30% of the bets and 72% of the money, though, on the under. So, very interesting. Mike, what do you have on the League World Series?
Keep talking the Little League World Series, and I keep.
Oh, we're not talking about our action in the League. We don't have our futures in for the League World Series. Okay, fine.
So
I guess we can talk about this game. Fine.
So somebody did make a good point in the chat, and I'm sorry I don't recall who it was, but when I lived in Philadelphia, the Amtrak ran a short little direct route to Washington. So we would go down and see Flyers games, Eagles, Commanders now games. And I never did the baseball games, but a bunch of my friends did. They had little packages set up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of Philly folks kind of in the stands because they travel, they represent. And so what does that do to the opportunity? I don't know. But I do like, when I look at the team total, as I start breaking the game down, I looked at it and I saw the Phillies is an over 5.5 and the Nationals is over 3.5. So they're kind of thinking, hey, it's going to be a situation where the Phillies get it done. But do I want to lay, to be even getting some positive, plus 115, you got to lay 1.5 runs in the first 5 for Zach Wheeler, Trevor Williams, K props. Again, just not a spot where I'm going to look, but you mentioned it earlier. And if you kind of look at the numbers, Nick Castellanos, his RBIs plus 115, Kyle Schwarber's RBIs plus 115, even JT Realmuto plus 125 for his RBI, Trey Turner's plus 135, and Bryce Harper's plus 145. Usually when I see numbers like that it's going to be a long day in the ballpark. And the only guy that's got really good production for the Nationals is Ruiz at plus 190 for an RBI. So what does that tell me? As I kind of look at the numbers early, I think it's going to be a tough day for the Nationals. I haven't made anything official on this game yet. I guess I got to run a couple more queries and things as the lines kind of percolate here, but I'd be leaning to the run line for the Phillies. Again, it's too juicy for me right now. So I have to figure out a way to be creative. Maybe I'll have a same game parlay. If I do, I'll throw it out on Twitter if I get enough likes on my hip to be square play of the day today. So we'll see. I hate to pass on that. It's like passing on main events, passing on the big games. I'm not going to make a play in the Super Bowl because not that this is the Super Bowl, but it's the big game. It's the last game and all the eyes are on it. And I hate to give a pass. So it pains me to do so. But I think you're onto something there with your look on the total. So haven't gotten there yet. Wish I did.
So Mike, you'll be happy to know that Bet Online has much better odds for the League World Series than Bovada. Our guy, you can get Nevada at minus 500, Mike. Minus 500. Bovada has him at minus 1,000. You're stealing value. Stealing. You have to lay it. And by the way, even better news, Mike. The parlay on Bovada or on Bet Online plus 1,300 or something like that. Oh no, just kidding. I did my math wrong there. I'm obviously a donkey. It's plus 133, actually. It's worse on Bet Online. But that's okay, Mike. The parlay still lives. The BJ Little League World Series parlay. I love that. Mike, I'm going to be reckless here.
All right.
I'm going to take the Washington Nationals full game money line here. in the hopes that they are just beleaguered by these children. I have women crawling on the floor now trying to avoid the camera. They're not even close to being on camera.
Yep,
They're
yep.
sliding away, sliding down. There they go. Very casually and quietly. All right, let's recap our action here. Let's get out of here. I've had hungry people, and we want to go play mini golf. Apparently, so it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
First, I'll go through my action here first, Mike. But of course, everyone remember, do not tell Cab. Do not tell Cab. But I am on the under 10.5 bets when he hosts my show. It's not until next week. I'll be gone on the 27th. But we are on the under 10.5 picks for Dabby Cab. So no one tell Dabby.
I'll keep it tally. We'll keep it legit. I'll keep it tally.
Thank you. Please do. And I'll add it to my official record, obviously. Wouldn't
that be great if that's the one that pushes you over the threshold to get into the black? That would be awesome.
Thank you, Dabby. Full game Red Sox, first 5 money line for me again, -102, -108. Double up on Detroit, Cleveland unders, under 8, under 4.5, -130 for the 4.5, first 5, under 8, -110. I got those last night. And then Washington Nationals, full game money line. My reckless play of the day, I guess, +191. And everyone knows I'm on Baltimore -1 at -154. Those are my plays. Mike, what do you want?
Yeah. So, I was concerned that I'd have another 20 play card here, but it's not. So I went with the Houston over +105, and I've got Hunter Brown over his K profit +100. I did take the Yankees first 5 head to head with you. I certainly know, as the Red Sox whisperer, that's not a good spot for me to be, but today I think it warrants it. Atlanta -1.5 at -110. The Detroit first 5 under 4.5 with a live bet look to the under. Minnesota -130 with a live bet look to the under. St. Louis -125, just a spot against the Mets. And then I've got the Cubs. I took the first 5 over 5 at -110 and the first 5 over 9, or I'm sorry, the full game over 9 at -115. I added Bobby Witt Jr. RBI at +175.
Beautiful work there. Dabby Cab in the chat, by the way, asking to get people to play him in MLB The Show for $20. I'll extend that same offer to anyone in FIFA, but I'll play for $50. I'll take that very seriously, and I'll put you in the fucking dirt. Just like with Jimmy and ping pong. Jimmy's $100 to play. I'm the same way. I'll play you once, I'll take your money, and I'll never play you again. And it'll be fun. Mike, I appreciate you for joining me, my man. It was a pleasure having you on Sundays. I loved having you on the show. I'm excited to see more of you in the coming weeks because we have some special announcements coming up. Hopefully, we'll announce one today because we'll have some. I finally shook you down yesterday, and I got what I needed from you, which was nice. But I'm excited for all that to happen here, Mike. When's the next time that people could see you?
Yeah, well, Big O said something about the horses today, and yeah, I'm sure I will be. I've been running on that side of it lately here, and it's been doing well. So, but more to come, right? We're gonna have to. Hopefully, we have to stream tomorrow night, all willing, in, on, and around all things Pub Sports Radio. And shout out to you, Jose, man. I enjoyed the show today. Certainly, we got a number of plays out there, and closing out the Sunday card with you and your last Sunday is a real honor and a treat. So congrats on getting your number where it is. You got a little more work to do, though. We're not going to high five and celebrate just yet, but I think you're moving in the right direction. So, shout out to our chat, of course, all you guys, man. You guys show up regularly and religiously on the consistent. So BJ, AOD, Able A, I'm sorry, Dabby Cab, Nunya, all you guys, man. Nut Flush Allen, of course, Big O. We see you guys in there in the chat over and over. I see it. Philly Eagle Flyer, I love the name. We appreciate it, man. Make sure you guys hit that, of course, JPZ, hit that thumbs up and the like button. Let everyone know we're out here doing this thing, man. There's no reason with the conglomerate of cappers that Pub Sports Radio has assembled that we can't only build our own bankrolls, but start getting some YouTube clout, man. We're big and bad MFers, and we throw out W's on the regular. So let everyone know it. Let's say it loud and proud, man. Pub Sports Radio, Shout out to you, Jose. Shout out to Say Hey, plays of the day. Let's get some cash, brother.
Yeah, let's do so. Let's do so, Mike. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone as always. Justin McElvey, the whole crew, all of you guys. You guys make this show tick, so we appreciate you guys for watching. Hit the like button. 163 of you guys in here while you guys are. So hit the like button and comment below, like I've mentioned. Let me know what you guys are on in the comments, because it's definitely easier for me to follow when the show's over and the comments are right there. And I like rooting for you guys as well, except for you guys are against me. Obviously, fuck you then if you're against me. But we appreciate you guys. Reminders again, sign up for the Cappers contest live now on the Pub Sports Radio website, www.pubsportsradio.com. Survivor contest as well. I'm signing up for the Survivor contest hopefully this week. Going to be fun. I'm already in the Cappers contest, $100 to enter both. The goal again for the Survivor contest, just make it past week 1. That's all I want to do. I didn't do that last year, and motherfucking Russell Wilson will not let me, will not be on my card this time. So fuck him. It will be interesting to see how many times I bet the Jets on the Cappers contest, though. Don't forget as well, poker tournament this week, Wednesday. I'll be hosting live stream on Wednesday. We'll be going hand to hand, table to table. It's a whole lot of fun. Mike M will be on with us, hopefully. Jimmy will be with me as well. The whole crew, the Earl brothers joined us last time. I'm sure they'll be there as well. It'll be a whole lot of fun. So sign up. You can see the password on screen there. Case sensitive. Remember that. Case sensitive. It is August 23rd, this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, start time. And you can register up to 45 minutes late as well. So it's another nice thing. And buy-ins or buybacks, whatever they're fucking called. You can buy in again after you get knocked out, if you get knocked out. So that's nice too. All right, Mike, thanks for coming and joining me. I appreciate you. It's time for mini golf.